My girlfriend screamed. Your mother wore white to her birthday party. She's trying to upstage me. My mom had worn cream at her own 65th birthday dinner. I said calmly, I'll talk to her. Then I drove my girlfriend home, turned around, and went back to celebrate with my mom. The breakup text I sent from the party. Original post. I, 29 male, broke up with my girlfriend via text message while eating birthday cake at my mother's 65th birthday party. And honestly, the cake was delicious and I have zero regrets. Let me set the scene. My mom turned 65 last Saturday. Big milestone. She's been looking forward to this for months. Planned a nice dinner at a restaurant she loves. Invited about 30 people. Made it clear this was her celebration after years of putting everyone else first. My dad passed away 6 years ago, and since then, Mom has thrown herself into being there for me and my sister. This was the first time in years she'd made something about herself, and we were all thrilled for her. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 14 months. She's met my mom several times, and I thought they got along fine. Not best friends, but cordial. My mom always made an effort, remembered her birthday, asked about her job, included her in family events. Normal stuff. The party was at 6 p.m. My girlfriend and I arrived around 5:45. My mom was already there, greeting guests, looking genuinely happy. She was wearing a cream-colored dress, elegant, age-appropriate, clearly something she'd picked out special for the occasion. She looked beautiful. I told her so. My girlfriend said nothing. We mingled for a while. Had some appetizers. I was catching up with my uncle when my girlfriend grabbed my arm and whispered, "We need to talk." Now, I excused myself and followed her to a quieter corner near the restrooms. Me, what's wrong? Her, your mother. Look at what she's wearing. Me, a dress? She looks nice. Her, it's white. She's wearing white. Me, it's cream. And it's her birthday party. Her, it's basically white. She's trying to upstage me. I genuinely thought she was joking at first. I almost laughed. Then I saw her face and realized she was completely serious. Me upstage you? At her own birthday party? How would that even work? Her, everyone's going to be looking at her all night. Me, because it's her birthday. That's how birthday parties work. Her, you don't understand. White is my color. I wore white to your cousin's wedding last month, and everyone complimented me. Now she's copying me to steal attention. I stared at her, trying to process the logic. Failing. Me, my mom, wore a cream dress to her own 65th birthday party to copy you and steal attention from herself at her own party. Her, don't be condescending. You know what I mean. She's always trying to compete with me. Me, compete with you for what? Her, your attention. She always has to be the center of everything when we're around your family. Me, she's my mother, at family events, where she is the matriarch. Yes, people pay attention to her. Her, see? You're defending her. You always defend her. At this point, my aunt walked by and gave us a concerned look. We were clearly having a tense conversation at what was supposed to be a happy celebration. I took a breath. Me? Okay, I hear you. You're upset about the dress. I'll talk to her. Her? Thank you. Finally. Just tell her it's inappropriate. Me, sure. But first, I think it's best if I take you home. You're clearly stressed, and I don't want this to escalate at Mom's party. Her? You're sending me home? Me? I'm suggesting you might be more comfortable there. I'll come by later, and we can talk. She glared at me, but eventually agreed. I think she thought I was on her side, that I was going to handle my mother and then come to her with a full report. I drove her home, 15 minutes each way. She spent the entire drive complaining about my mom, how she always wears attention-grabbing outfits, how she never makes my girlfriend feel welcome, how she's obviously threatened by our relationship. I nodded along, said things like, I understand, and I hear you. When I dropped her off, she kissed me and said, thank you for handling this. I knew you'd see it my way eventually. I drove back to the restaurant, walked in, found my mom cutting her birthday cake, watched her laugh at something my uncle said, watched her hug my sister, watched her be genuinely happy at her own party, in her cream dress that had apparently ruined my girlfriend's entire evening. I pulled out my phone and sent a text. Me, I've been thinking about what happened tonight. Accusing my mother of trying to upstage you at her own 65th birthday party because of the color of her dress is not something I can overlook. This relationship isn't working. I wish you well, but we're done. Then I put my phone on silent, got a slice of cake, and sat down next to my mom. Mom, where's your girlfriend? Me. She wasn't feeling well. Had to go home. Mom, oh no. I hope she feels better. Me. She will. Eventually. I didn't check my phone for the rest of the night. Just celebrated with my family. Danced badly with my aunt. Gave a toast to my mom. Felt lighter than I had in months. When I finally checked my phone around 10 p.m., I had 23 missed calls and approximately 40 text messages. The texts ranged from confused, wait, what? To angry, you're breaking up with me over a dress? To threatening, if you don't call me right now, we are done. To desperate, please baby, I'm sorry I overreacted. Let's talk. I didn't respond. I'll update when there's more to tell. But right now, I'm just sitting with the relief of finally seeing clearly what I've been ignoring for months. Update 1, 4 days later. The fallout has been significant, and I want to document what's happened because this situation has revealed a lot. First, thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. A few people thought I was too harsh, that breaking up via text was cowardly, or that I should have given her a chance to explain. Here's my perspective. She had 14 months to show me who she was. Saturday night, she finally did. I don't need an explanation for why she thought my mother's dress at my mother's birthday party was a personal attack on her. There is no explanation that would make that reasonable. Now for what's happened since. The night of the party, after I got home, my ex showed up at my apartment. Just appeared at my door around 11 p.m., clearly having been crying. Her, you can't just end things like this. Over text. Me, I can't actually. I did. Her, this is insane. I was upset about a dress, and you're throwing away 14 months? Me, you weren't upset about a dress. You were upset that my mother dared to look nice at her own birthday party. You called it trying to upstage you. At her party. For her birthday. There's something fundamentally wrong with that perspective. Her, I was just feeling insecure. Women get insecure sometimes. It's normal. Me, feeling insecure is one thing. Accusing my mother of competing with you and demanding I handle her is another. Her, I didn't demand anything. Me, you literally said tell her it's inappropriate. Tell a 65-year-old woman that her dress at her own birthday party is inappropriate because it's too close to white and might distract from you. She didn't have a good response to that. Just kept crying and saying I was being unfair and extreme. I told her she needed to leave. She refused at first, but eventually I made it clear I wasn't going to argue all night. She left saying she'd give me space and we'd talk when I was thinking clearly. The next few days brought more escalation. Sunday, her best friend texted me a long message about how I was being cruel, and my ex was devastated. I responded once. She accused my mother of trying to upstage her at my mother's own birthday party because of the color of a dress. I'm not the one being cruel. The friend didn't respond. Monday, her mother called me. This was unexpected. We'd met maybe 3 times. Her mom, I understand there was some kind of misunderstanding at your mother's party. Me, there wasn't a misunderstanding. Your daughter accused my mother of trying to upstage her by wearing a cream dress to her own 65th birthday celebration. Her mom, well, I'm sure she didn't mean it that way. Me, she absolutely meant it that way. She demanded I talk to my mother about how inappropriate it was. At my mother's own party. Long pause. Her mom, that does sound extreme. Me, it was. I'm sorry things didn't work out, but this isn't fixable. Her mom actually apologized for bothering me and ended the call. That was unexpected. Maybe she knew more about her daughter's patterns than she was letting on. Tuesday brought an interesting development. My sister called me. Sister, okay, I have to tell you something. I didn't want to get involved while you were dating her, but now that you're not. Me, go ahead. Sister, she was awful to mom. Like consistently. Not in big obvious ways, but in small cutting ones. Little comments about mom's cooking when mom made dinner. Sighing when mom told stories. Rolling her eyes when mom got emotional. I noticed it. Mom noticed it, but we didn't want to cause drama. Me, why didn't anyone tell me? Sister, because you seemed happy, and we figured if she made you happy, we could deal with some rudeness. But this dress thing? That's not rudeness anymore. That's unhinged. Me, Mom noticed. Sister, Mom definitely noticed. She told me once that she hoped your girlfriend would warm up eventually. She was being generous. That woman was never warm to begin with. This hit me hard. My mom had been dealing with my girlfriend's subtle disrespect for over a year, and she'd said nothing because she didn't want to interfere with my relationship. That's the kind of person my mom is. And my girlfriend had the audacity to accuse her of being competitive. Wednesday, my ex tried a different approach. She sent me a long email. I'll summarize the key points. She admitted she overreacted at the party. She blamed it on stress at work and hormones. She claimed she'd never had issues with my mother before. Lies based on what my sister told me. She suggested we go to couples therapy to work through our communication issues. She ended with, "I know we can get past this if you just give us a chance." The framing was interesting. Communication issues. As if the problem was how we talked, not what she actually said and believed. I didn't respond. More updates coming. Update 2. 8 days later. Things have continued to develop, and I want to share what's happened because the situation has taken some interesting turns. After my ex's email went unanswered for several days, she apparently decided to escalate. Last Friday, she showed up at my job. I work at an engineering firm. Nothing fancy, but professional. She walked into the lobby and told the receptionist she was my fiancée and needed to see me urgently. The receptionist called my desk. I went down to the lobby, saw her standing there with what I can only describe as a wounded girlfriend expression, and felt my stomach drop. Me, quietly, "What are you doing here?" Her, "You won't answer my calls. Won't respond to my emails. I had to see you somehow." Me, "This is my workplace. This is not appropriate." Her, "What's not appropriate is you throwing away our relationship over nothing." The receptionist was very carefully not looking at us. A coworker walked by and did a double take. Me, "We're not doing this here. You need to leave." Her, "Not until you talk to me." Me, "Fine. Outside." We walked to the parking lot. She started crying immediately. Her, "I don't understand what's happening. We were fine. We were happy. And then you just ended everything because I got upset about a dress." Me, "You got upset because my mother wore a cream-colored dress to her own birthday party. You said she was trying to upstage you. Those are your words." Her, "I was having a moment. Everyone has moments." Me, "Your moment revealed how you actually think. You believe you should be the center of attention at someone else's birthday party. You believe my mother is in competition with you. You've apparently been rude to her for over a year. My sister told me everything." Her face changed. "Your sister is lying. She never liked me." Me, "My sister kept her concerns to herself because she wanted me to be happy. That's not dislike. That's restraint." Her, "So now your whole family is against me? Great. This is exactly what your mother wanted." Me, "There it is again. You genuinely believe my mother, a 65-year-old woman who lost her husband and has spent years supporting her kids, is scheming against you. Do you hear yourself?" Her, "You don't understand the dynamics between mothers and girlfriends." Me, "I understand that healthy dynamics don't involve accusing someone of maliciously choosing a dress color to steal attention from you at their own birthday party." She didn't have a response, just stood there crying. Part of me felt bad. 14 months isn't nothing, and there were good times mixed in. But then I remembered my mom's face when I came back to the party. The relief I felt sitting next to her, eating cake, just being present without drama. Me, "Please don't come to my work again. This is the last conversation we're going to have." I walked back inside. My manager asked if everything was okay. I said ex-girlfriend situation, and he nodded knowingly and let it drop. That should have been the end. It wasn't. Over the weekend, she apparently reached out to my mom directly. I found this out Sunday evening when my mom called me, sounding confused. "Mom, I just got the strangest message from your ex." Me, "What did she say?" Mom, "She apologized for any misunderstandings and said she hoped we could move forward as family someday. She also said she was working on herself and hoped I would put in a good word with you." Me, "She wants you to help her get back together with me." Mom, "That's what I gathered. After everything that happened." Me, "What did you tell her?" Mom, "I told her I wish her well, but my son makes his own decisions. I didn't think it was my place to get involved." Me, "Mom, She accused you of wearing that dress to compete with her. At your party. Mom, I know, honey. But I also know that people do strange things when they're hurting. I'm not angry at her. I'm just relieved you saw through it. My mom, man. Even now, giving grace to someone who treated her badly for over a year. I don't deserve her. Me. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. Mom, you see it now. That's what matters. One more update coming to wrap this up. Update 3. Final, 11 days later. Final update. The situation has resolved itself, and I'm ready to close this chapter. The week after my mom told me about my ex's message, things finally started to settle down. My ex made one last attempt, a handwritten letter delivered to my apartment building's mailroom. It was 3 pages long. I'll summarize the key themes. She loved me deeply and still does. She'd been going through a lot and not acting like herself. Her reaction at the party was not about the dress, but about feeling excluded from my family. She was starting therapy to work on her insecurities. She hoped I would reconsider and give her another chance to prove herself. The letter was well written. If I hadn't experienced what I experienced, I might have found it moving. But I kept coming back to 2 things. First, she never actually apologized to my mom. She apologized to me for how she acted at the party. She sent my mom a vague message about misunderstandings, but she never directly said, "I was wrong to accuse your mother of trying to upstage me. I'm sorry I was rude to her for 14 months." The closest she got was admitting she wasn't acting like herself, which isn't really taking responsibility. That's saying the real me wouldn't do that, when actually the real her did exactly that. Second, the excluded from my family framing. This was new. She'd never mentioned feeling excluded before. It felt like a strategy, a sympathetic angle she'd workshopped to make me feel guilty. But the thing is, she wasn't excluded. She was invited to every family event. My mom asked about her constantly. My sister tolerated her rudeness for over a year without saying anything. If she felt excluded, it was because she was constantly competing instead of connecting. I didn't respond to the letter. A few days later, I heard from a mutual friend, someone who'd been at the birthday party and had witnessed my girlfriend's mood shift when she saw my mom's dress. Mutual friend, "Hey, I want to check in. I heard you and your girlfriend broke up." Me, ex-girlfriend. "Yeah." Mutual friend, "I have to tell you something. The night of the party, before everything went down, she made a comment to me about your mom's dress. Said something like, 'typical,' and she always has to be the center of attention." I thought it was weird, but didn't think much of it. Me, so it wasn't just a moment. She was already thinking it. Mutual friend, "Seems like it. I'm sorry I didn't say anything at the time. It just seemed like girlfriend stuff? I don't know. Looking back, it was definitely a red flag." Me, "I appreciate you telling me now." That conversation confirmed what I'd suspected. The outburst in the corner wasn't a sudden snap. It was the culmination of resentment she'd been carrying all along. The dress was just the excuse to finally express it. Some final things that happened. 1. My ex's best friend reached out again, this time with a different tone. She said she'd been hearing both sides and wanted to know what really happened. I told her the truth. Her friend accused my mother of maliciously wearing a cream dress to her own birthday party to steal attention. The best friend went quiet and then said, "I had no idea it was that bad. She told me you dumped her because she made a comment about a dress." Different framing entirely. I told her to ask my ex to explain exactly what she'd said and in what context. She thanked me and said she'd do that. I haven't heard from her since, which tells me she probably got the full story. 2. My mom and I had a long talk. She told me she'd noticed my ex's attitude from the beginning, but didn't want to be that mother who criticizes her son's girlfriend. She said she kept hoping things would improve. She also told me she'd worn the cream dress specifically because she felt beautiful in it and wanted to feel beautiful on her 65th birthday. The idea that someone would interpret that as a competitive move made her sad more than angry. 3. My sister took me out for drinks to celebrate my freedom. Her words. She told me stories I'd never heard, times my ex had been subtly dismissive to our mom at family dinners, times she'd made passive-aggressive comments that my mom had absorbed without complaint. Hearing it all laid out was painful, but also clarifying. I hadn't been imagining the tension. I'd just been in denial about its source. Some final thoughts. 1. Entitled people tell on themselves eventually. My ex could have kept her resentment hidden indefinitely. But the dress thing was so absurd, so clearly irrational, that she couldn't contain it. She revealed herself because she finally encountered something she couldn't spin into reasonableness. 2. Family matters. Not in a blood is thicker than water way, but in a these are the people who've had your back for decades way. My mom spent 6 years supporting me after my dad died. My ex spent 14 months being subtly rude to her. When someone asks you to choose, the choice should be obvious. 3. Small disrespects add up. Looking back, there were signs I ignored. The eye rolls when my mom told stories. The sighs when we visited my family. The complaints about how often I called home. I told myself it was just normal relationship friction. It wasn't. It was a pattern of disrespect that finally escalated into something I couldn't ignore. For breaking up by text is sometimes the right call. People say you should always break up in person, out of respect. But respect goes both ways. She didn't respect my mother enough to not make a scene at her birthday party. She doesn't get to demand a formal breakup conversation. 5. Mothers know. My mom saw it before I did. She just loved me enough not to say anything, hoping I'd figure out on my own. I did. Eventually. The cream dress is still hanging in my mom's closet. She told me she's going to wear it to her next birthday dinner too. Why not, she said. I look fantastic in it. She does. My apartment is quieter now. No more complaints about visiting my family. No more tension when I call my mom. No more walking on eggshells around someone's invisible competitions. I'm not dating yet. Taking some time. But I know what I'm looking for now. Someone who can celebrate the people I love instead of competing with them. Thanks for following this whole saga. Writing it out helped me process it. Sometimes you need strangers on the internet to confirm that choosing your mother over someone who resents her isn't being a mama's boy. It's having standards. Going to call my mom now. See how her week is going. Peace.